to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, I just got back from the store, and I got myself some tea. We were out. Now then, let's continue. I do plan on trying to upload a lot of these episodes today, because I just feel like posting a lot today. Now then, when we last left off, Deku had just won in the race, and now then, he also had just kept the 10 million points throughout the entire duration of the cavalry battle. Now, another thing. Todoroki, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but he does not have the scar. And Dabi, he is actually a hero. Basically, just like in What If Deku had Hakai energy. If you guys don't know what that is, shit got crazy. Now then, where we last left off. Well, I just said it, I think. Sorry, my brain's not working today. Anyways. Now then. Deku, he is now in the matches. He's thinking about who he's going to be fighting against. And instead of him meeting Shinsho in the ring, or the ring, this is actually going to be him versus... It's going to be Deku versus Sero. Sero is immediately mad because he's paired up against the guy who literally held his own against a thing made to kill All Might. Sero would just say that, well, if he's going to at least fight him, then he'll at least make sure he does his best. As soon as he goes to dispense tape from his elbow, Deku, he immediately just shoots him. He just shoots him with Neon, saying that, yeah, he's sorry about this, but, you know, if I wanted to, I can just use Kendo's conduit, right? Oh, come on, man. You gotta make this interesting at least. You can't just knock me out. I mean, I could, but... As Deku just raises his hand and fires another blast, knocking him directly out of the ring. Now then. Afterwards, Todoroki versus Shinsho. People are looking at this, and they're thinking that this fight is going to be quite weird, as President Mike would announce that from the notes he has in front of him, he knows that the boy with the... Well, both of these two are hybrids. Todoroki is considered to be a very strong one, because he has a fire quirk and an ice conduit. So he's a hybrid that's sides complement one another. And Shinsho here is actually the exact opposite of his conduit. Him having fire, not ice. But he also has a brainwashing quirk. So, this is going to be an epic battle. This is whenever Shinsho would just say that he doesn't plan on using his quirk since it only works if he talks to him. Plus, you already know it, so how about a deal? We fight conduit to conduit. Todoroki would just nod, as Shinsho just thinks, well, I at least get to show how much my practice has paid off. As he immediately just covers his hand in fire, and it immediately just runs up his arms. As his legs light on fire, and you just see him standing there in a pose. As Todoroki somewhat does the same thing, except he's actually holding himself in the same pose he does in Canon, but with just full ice abilities. As soon as that happens, these two immediately just charge at each other and start fighting. They're having blast connect, they're having waves connect. Todoroki's he's actually developed that move he does in Canon, where I'm about to sneeze. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I paused. You guys didn't not hear that. Now then, that ability he has in Canon where he only uses one side and he swoops it forward, he could do that but with both sides. So he can basically do what he calls a wave. Basically bringing both of his hands behind him, flicking them forward as hard as he can, dispersing quite a bit of, well, ice. This is whenever Shinso, in fact, would just counter it by basically bringing his hands down to the ring, bringing them back up, and forcing as much fire as he can downward. Basically blasting as much fire in that direction as possible to counter. People are watching. Now then, as Shinso throws as much fire forward as possible, Todoroki's ice and Shinso's fire are clashing. A lot of the pro heroes are watching this and is thinking that the conduits are stronger than what was it? Than anything they've ever seen. This fight is only one of the, what is it? It's one of the 8. It's not even part of the quarterfinals. So this is going to be intense. As Shinso and Todoroki are both fighting, people watch as Todoroki actually brings himself a step further, and the ice on his arms is actually traveling all the way up to his body. Actually coming up to his face, and he begins to starting to breathe out blue mist. People are watching this as Shinso is doing the exact opposite. The fire is crawling up his hands, and you just see his shirt starting to rip apart. As this is happening, they knew about this, but Shinso also decided to wear a fireproof undershirt, just in case anything happened. So he's at least come prepared. More than Ken and Todoroki. Now then, as they are fighting, people are watching as Shinso's eyes immediately just start bursting with flames, and Todoroki's eyes are glowing blue with a mist. As these two get even further, Shinso actually takes a step forward, trying to blast even harder. Todoroki does the same thing as both of their waves immediately just start going up into the arena. Now then, this is whenever All Might, he would immediately go to stop this, but they made one fatal mistake. Todoroki reached absolute cold as Shinso reached absolute heat, causing what I call absolute zero. Basically, if the hottest material in the world and the coldest material in the world both meet, causing an explosion. As this happens, both of them get flown out of the ring. Now, it would come to the fact that Shinso actually won against Todoroki, as he was able to at least bring his hands up behind him before he fell, and actually blast out fire, somewhat keeping himself in control, and kind of like Bakugo's explosions, being able to somewhat fly. Now then, I'm going to now change up the timeline even further by bringing in let's see, the next matchup should be not Ibarra, and even then, let's see. I already used 2 of the characters on this list, so let's have Toru versus Kaminari. This fight goes with Toru winning and Kaminari immediately losing, because he's only barely gotten a grasp on the way Deku told him to use electricity. Now then. But this fight's going to be somewhat interesting because it's going to be Kendo versus... Actually, no, let's not bring Kendo in on this side. It's going to be Ida versus Jiro. Now, people usually know how I like to mesh up timelines a bit, so this is me even doing it further. Now, this battle Jiro would win, and she'd actually take down Ida by blasting him out with sound. Even though Ida's gotten faster, Jiro can somewhat just aim down and set a giant pulse up through the arena. Now then, this is going to be Mina versus Kendo. Mina immediately just thinks that this is probably going to be very easy, but is immediately wrong when as soon as it says go, she immediately just tries blasting her with acid, and it just goes straight through her. This makes her shocked, asking what happened or why it just goes straight through her, and she'd have to explain that she basically is able to put her atoms at the point of air. Basically like that one guy's quirk from a couple years ago. I have no idea who you're talking about, but I guess I can't hit you then. Oh no, you totally could, but I could just do this. As she immediately just puts her fist up, making it very giant. She throws it forward, actually making it solid, and it just punches Mina out of the ring. People are quite confused, as that was very intense. Even just for one punch. Now then, Momo versus Tokoyami. This fight goes exactly as canon, with Tokoyami eventually knocking her out after she creates weapons. Now then, Hardboy 1 versus Stronger, Faster, More Improved, Hardboy 2. We can rebuild him. Surprised that's not what I've gotten yet. Or got requested. Anyways, Tetsu would be thinking that guy has a rock quirk. He's kinda happy he at least doesn't have a hardening quirk. Oh, your name's Tetsu, right? My name's Kirishima. But I have one question. Can your hardened steel beat mine? As he immediately hardens his skin to the point of rock. Tetsu just thinks, are you fucking kidding me? A hybrid able to control concrete and a hardening quirk. You know what? I'm in. As he immediately starts rushing towards Kirishima. Kirishima would beat him because he would do a very manly thing and not use his hardening, or not use his extra armor. Now then, he beats him because even then his hardening is still stronger than the cannon. Anyways, now then, let us continue. We have Uraka, the girl with the telekinesis quirk, versus Bakugo, the one-armed successor. Now then, this fight actually is a lot more challenging for Bakugo. He is able to keep himself from flying away, but Uraka just keeps trying to throw him around with telekinesis. Bakugo being able to use 40% of one for all, he would just keep throwing himself around with explosion after explosion, if not by just trying to punch the air, basically trying to counteract what her brain is doing. I would say that she gets knocked out, but that would make this what if a little less interesting. So let's just say Bakugo would be able to win after just pulling the pin on the back of his cybernetic, actually setting off an explosion that whenever she does try and dodge it by basically making it a bubble around herself, she would put too much strain on her brain because Bakugo, he's able to blow apart a robot with just one regular explosion. And the fact is, this thing's connected to his body 24/7, storing up sweat. Plus, he's gotten stronger, faster, and his sweat is being powered up by one for all. That is not gonna be easy to dodge, if not even block. So let's just say that she has a small aneurysm and her nose starts bleeding, and she would actually just pass out in the ring. Similar to Cannon, but Bakugo would actually run over and help her to recover Girl's office. Now then. Let's see. Deku versus Shinso in the quarterfinals. Now, before the match begins, Shinso actually just makes one request to Deku. He just says that he has helped him come very far. In fact, Endeavor, although his methods were a bit out there, as he would say, they at least worked. In fact, he now feels like he's gotten over everything. So he just wants to thank Deku. And he does say one thing. If you beat me, I will let you have my pyrokinesis. Wait, you're just gonna give me the entire power? Just on a whim if I beat you? Yeah, but under one condition. You name it. You have to use your smoke ability. If not, at least use... Yeah, I'm gonna say... He would say use smoke. Since it's the only thing he has that's similar to fire without it actually just destroying everything. Now then. Deku would accept this, and... Yeah. He is immediately ecstatic. As Shinso, he is very, very, very nervous for this matchup. These two would walk into the ring, and President Mike would just announce that this is the Conduit Prodigy, Izuku Midoriya, versus the Human Torch Shinso. As Shinso hears that name, Human Torch. Huh. I like it. Now, Deku would just say, well, I guess Iceman for Todoroki then, right? Shinso just immediately just holds back his laughter, as Todoroki would just say, I still got a firework. Basically, it's basically saying that he held back at Shinso's request. Now then, people, along with some Mentos, are immediately ready to create walls at any given point in this matchup. As soon as they are told to begin, Deku, he immediately just creates a giant shotgun blast explosion, blowing out forward into the ring. Shinso countering with a fireball. As these two strike each other, this immediately causes smoke and fire to go everywhere throughout the ring. As these two also meet each other with blast, they would also get into close combat. Deku having the advantage with him, if he just grabbed Shinso, he might be able to actually win, because he could just copy his ability. Shinso just focuses on keeping his fire as hot as possible, and he actually does so by somewhat turning himself into a torch. His hands are on fire, his arms are on fire, and his face is actually on fire. So Deku came and grabbed his face, along with his hair going from a nice shade of purple, turning to a bright shade of red. Now then, as he's doing this, he actually does create... He just tells Deku that he remembers seeing something at the USJ, but he really hopes that he can control this. Wait, what are you talking about? As Shinso just immediately blasts Deku backwards, he immediately comes to the ground and just jumps upward as high as he can, blasting himself high and high and high as his feet turn into a giant torch, basically giving off the illusion that his feet have disappeared. As soon as that happens, he just keeps going and going and going, as he immediately just stops as he starts falling back down to the ground. Deku sees this and he immediately just begins by charging up his orbital strike and immediately just jumping up into the air. As these two meet with a very heavy punch, the entire area around the ring completely explodes. As the heroes go to actually block off and protect the civilians, people are just astounded and really in shock just how much growth the conduits can have. This kid said that the USJ is whenever he saw this happen, and in that 2-week period of time, he's mastered the ability to do this. but he was already on his way to doing so his whole life. He was just holding himself back. Now, after this, it would be found that Deku, he was actually able to reform the ring as people are watching his injuries actually heal up, and he's just panting very heavily as he looks around and he sees Shinso at the edge of the ring. He is immediately just telling him that if he can get back up to do so, the fight isn't over, is it? As Shinso would just somewhat try and get up, he is immediately just kicked out of the ring by Deku as soon as he just gets back up, saying that was awesome. You do that all the time? Well, yeah, flying up into the air is amazing, dude. I noticed. Anyways, here, as he holds out his hand, Deku, he hesitantly goes to shake it, but as he does so, he is immediately met with Shinso's memories. Everything that happened the day the bombs went off, along with Shinso's house exploding and catching fire. He got trapped underneath a steel beam, and his mother and father came to help him. But his dad, unfortunately, did get worse burns than his. They were able to get him out, yes, but he still has the scars from the event. Along with the fact that he was in that city block, Bakugo told him was on fire that day. As Deku immediately comes to, he's gasping as he immediately just lights his hand with fire. Now, this is going to conclude the first half of the sports festival, because we got conduits and we got some heavy shit going down. Alright guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys